I'm John Champagne and welcome to Brogo Permaculture Gardens. Given the fact we're in isolation at the moment, I thought it would be a nice opportunity to do a tour of this property. It's 25 years old, and I guess it's a story of a shift that my wife Sharon and I made about 25 years ago, living in suburban Melbourne, to being here in Brogo on the far south coast of New South Wales. So I'd like to take you on a tour. Okay, I just always start these tours with honouring the original custodians of this country, the Yuin people, and you can see in the background there Mumbler Mountain, which was a sacred mountain to the Yuin people. Now what I want to cover today is I want to take you down to the nut orchard, have a talk about the windbreak, and also want to mention some water management issues up the top here. But just to start with, these trees here are stone pines, so that's where you get your pine nuts from. They haven't fruited yet, the cones haven't dropped the fruit, but they're not too far away. This is a little woodland setting here, bit of agroforestry. This is Grevillea robusta. It's about 12 to 15 years old, and basically all I've been doing is pruning the branches up to get a harvestable saw log down the track, but it creates a really nice entrance into the property. Okay, down here, so we've got along the top of the property there a shelter belt to protect us from the westerly winds, which are our most destructive winds. So that shelter belt's now, almost 20 odd years old, and it's starting to show some wear and tear. During the drought and the bushfire season we've just had, a lot of it has sort of died right back. So I'm in the process of cutting a lot of that down and replanting it. But right here, what I'm standing in here is what's known as an ephemeral pond. So it's a pond that purposefully leaks. And what I'm doing here is I'm harvesting water off Hawkshead Road in two directions with diversion drains that come into here. Now if I get say 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, this fills up totally with water, and in around about 4 to 5 days it's all disappeared. And where it disappears is down slope, putting water into the subsurface, into the ground to grow trees. Okay, so what I've got here, just below the ephemeral pond, right up the top of the hill, and as we go down the hill, we've got different garden settings in terms of types. So this is the nut area, and we've got here the walnuts and a hedgerow here of hazelnuts. Around the back there's pistachio. Carob tree, hasn't fruited yet, but it's a bit slow growing. And I've got 3. So underneath the pecan trees here, we've got support species. This one here is the Acacia floribunda, which is my legume species, and being a legume, it takes atmospheric nitrogen from the air and releases it through the root level with rhizobium. And so I use this as a mulch crop by cutting it every year and using it as mulch. And underneath the trees I've got support plants like the salvias here, different salvias, sages, comfrey. So all these plants here are planted to support this main tree being the pecan. Okay, so this area, there's another shelter belt here that divides the nut orchard to the one below it, which is the semi-tropical orchard. And I'm actually thinning this out. A lot of this is now contained, I guess, in terms of the wind having an impact to where the house site is. And a lot of these trees are now established, so they don't really need this much of a windbreak. But I'm actually clearing this at the moment. So intersecting these two is a swale, which is basically a ditch on contour, and it's picking up water off our driveway, which leads down to the house, and moving it along. And so when it rains, this fills up with water, and again, seepage irrigation underneath the ground, moving down slope.